Hi everybody, Ben Myers here, and we're going to start a little bit of a new journey here. Um, I am playing cards on my new account, brand new account, and it's Cards Podcast if you're listening to the podcast. And it'll be firing up here in just a second for everybody to see. This is definitely for new players. So, the first thing you're going to see after you sign in with Steam is select your display name, and this will be the name that's visible to other players. I actually always just left Saratoga County Sports in here because this is a different than how the original setup was. But I'm going to put in, oops, not that one. I'm going to put in the correct name for the podcast. Yep, we're sure. Thank you. So this is the client for cards, and this is what you'll see when you first open it up. This will change once you get through all the tutorials. So let's hit play, get started. So attack and destroy the German HQ at Arnhem before the enemy reinforcements arrive. Okay. So this is just you see these all the time, and it'll walk you through all this kind of stuff. So, first infantry unit, deploy your units, drag and drop on either side of the HQ. So, drop them on the right, hit that end turn button, attack and defense. Enemies taking the front line, so we hit continue. Alright, we're actually going to play our 12th Infantry Regiment here and attack. And the turn. So, you work through the beginning of the game here. We'll deploy our units and move them around and that kind of thing. I'm sure everybody has played different CCGs in the past and that kind of thing. So orders, that's always fun. So orders are one-time use. So let's get an attack at the enemy HQ in, and let's use our order to finish the game off. So there we go. Through the first tutorial, no problem. So now we're gonna see if we can get some more stuff here, get some more units on the field. This is to kind of show you the credit area over here. In cards, you gain 1 credit per turn, and credits do not bank from turn to turn. And each card has a deploy cost and an operation cost, each unit at least. So let's move our 506 up to the front line there. So we got to make a choice here on what we're going to do. We're going to attack the enemy unit in this case. Just keep that battlefield nice and clear. And here you'll have an opportunity to see that you can't bank credits, and we lose our frontline one here, but we went up to 4 because it's turn 4 as opposed to having 6 total because we get 4 plus 2. That's not how it works. You only get the 4. So we get our first tank, the Stewart, get him out there, pass the turn back to the AI. Oh, and they use an air blitz to hurt our HQ. That's okay. We're going to recover here in just a second. Move up to the front line. Here's one of our orders. And these cards are a little bit different in the game proper. So you'll see the difference when we start playing actual gameplay against other players or AI and that kind of thing in just a little bit. Alright, so let's get that final attack in, take out their HQ, and 2 for 2 on our tutorials. Heyo! So, now we are playing cards here, and we complete the basic tutorials. So select a starting nation and lock the starter deck of all the other nations by defeating them in battle. So, I think we're going to take the British in order to do this. So let's take Team Britain, and you do get the opportunity to read up on them a little bit. But yeah, I think we're going to take Team Britain. And we're going to play against, we'll take on the Japanese here to start. So yeah, if you want to throw some cards back at the beginning of a game, you can do so. We'll actually keep Cup of Tea. We'll throw away AA Barrage. We don't really need that right now. Yep, we got some artillery. Yep, and then our 25 pounder. So all right, we'll put our Humber out there. Alright, so they have a Type 95 that has smoke screen, which is like, you can't attack it, but you can target it with orders, but you just can't attack to start. So we drew our fighter, gives you a little information about it there. And right now we're going to play our Cup of Tea just to repair our Humber. Alright. So a little information about the Humber. Right now, though, we're going to get a 5th Brigade out there. And we're going to move up our Humber, though, and take that front line. Alright, so they have a Himeji regiment. They attack our Humber with their Type 95. Alright, so gives you a little update on what the deployment abilities mean. I think we're going to put out our 24 pounder at this point. So, opponents, doing their thing over there, drawing some cards with a rising sun. But our 5th Brigade's pretty tough, can handle itself. So we're actually going to take out this Himeji regiment. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to play Baluch regiment just because it's tough. And we're actually going to, no, we'll keep our 5th Brigade here. We could move it up, but instead what we're going to do is use this AA barrage to put the Hayabusa back in their hand and get a little buff to our HQ. So a nice clear board for our battlefield for our opponent. They put on a new Type 95, another Hayabusa. Alright, well we get a Cup of Tea, which will be very helpful here, and we'll use it. And we're actually going to put our Hurricane onto the battlefield here, and we're going to attack with our Hurricane. Try and induce an attack with the Hayabusa on our Hurricane. So opponent draws, see what they do. Play another Hayabusa. Alright, they have a Type 93 out there. Alright, they play an Akita regiment as well. So we're going to do a little bit of stuff here. Let's take out their Type 93 with our 24 pounder. We're going to take out their tank with our regiment. We're going to attack their HQ. Then we're going to put one of their Hayabusas back in their hand. And then we're going to move the 5th Brigade forward, and we're going to play a Humber. So a lot going on in that turn, but well worth it, I think. So they trade off their Hayabusa to our Hurricane. And they'll attack and get our 5th Brigade as well. But no, we have a Spitfire. Spitfire's a very strong fighter at the standard level. So we're going to take out their machine gun tank there. Move up our Baluch Regiment, move up our Humber, and play our Spitfire. Alright, so another Himeji Regiment for our opponent. They have a 0, which has a special ability. Alright, we'll put the 0 back in their hand. Let's attack the HQ. Attack the HQ. Attack the HQ. Attack the HQ. And we're going to use our convoy, draw a couple cards. And if you can hear the dog in the background, that's actually the neighbor's dog. But right now, one more Spitfire attack and we get the win here. So, some attacking by our opponent, but we're just going to get in there and say, okay, thank you for the information. We're just going to get the win now. So, there we go. Japanese starter deck unlocked. So now we're going to switch over to the Germans. See if we can take the Germans down. We're going to go with the British deck again. When I went through and played against all the others, I took the British deck to start. It's pretty good playing against these early AI opponents. Mostly because the 5th Brigade's a pretty strong card. 5th Brigade you actually even see at competitive levels still. The 5th Brigade's a pretty good card for what it does. 2 deploy, 1 to operate, and a 1-5. And there's lots of different ways to manipulate that 5 defense to your advantage. So I recommend taking the British to try and grind through the AI to start, and then there's a bunch of different ways to upgrade decks that we'll go over. So a couple of attacks by our opponent there. Alright, so we get two Hurricanes, which we like to see. First things first, we're going to take out this infantry. Then we're going to pin this fighter. And we're going to use this opportunity to keep calm and carry on with a cup of tea. Pass the turn back. Alright, so a couple of cards played by our opponent there. They're down to 1 card in hand though. And we have a Baluch Regiment on the way, so let's see. Let's do the Baluch to start. What we're going to actually do here is move the Humber up, and we're going to take out this 109. Oh, we don't have enough credits to attack. Wasn't paying attention there, but we control the front line. We have a pretty strong supply line going here, or support line. And this Humber is going to take a little bit of a beating, but it does negate a couple of attacks by our opponent, so that's always good. And then we have some Hurricanes coming out here in just a minute. Okay, so let's see, do we want to use a Hurricane? Yeah, let's do it. So let's use a Hurricane to take out this Panzer IIA. And then if we get an attack across here from the 109, to trade this Hurricane off. We'll accept that. All right, a big tank there. The Panzer IV-G for an opponent. So let's see. Well, I think this is a good opportunity to play our Engineers Regiment. We can take out the 109. And let's see. Let's take out the... We'll actually take out the smaller infantry here. This Panzer is going to be tough. Oh, sorry about that. A little notification from the computer. So this Panzer is going to be tough to get through, but we can do it. Alright, so it goes after our 5th Brigade, but we have some pretty good cards coming behind it, so we're actually going to attack the Panzer to start. And we're going to take it out here with our Hurricane. Well, let's see. We don't even have to take it out with our Hurricane. We can take it out with these Engineers. And then we're going to have a cup of tea. And attack with the 5th Brigade here. We're not as powerful of a position as you normally like at this point, but I think we're okay still. We take out those Pioneers, and then we get a 2-for-1 there, so that's good. Alright, and then we have plenty of firepower coming here with the Baluch Regiment and 5th Brigade. See what else our opponent's up to. Alright, so they play Reichsbank. So they have a pretty good turn coming up next turn. Another AA barrage. That's not very helpful. We'll take out the Volksgrenadiers, though. Pass the turn. We don't want to expose these to an attack yet, because 980 has to wait anyway. Alright, so 24 pounder is helpful. We'll get that down. And we'll make the opponent attack us. So Panzer IIA. Alright, and they trade off. Alright, so big Churchill here. That's very helpful. Let's get the Churchill down. Start pounding away on the Volksgrenadier. Then if we see any planes, we can put them right back in our opponent's hands. So that's good. Alright, we can still take out that Volksgrenadier with our cannon, which we will do. And then we're going to strafe these Pioneers with our Hurricane, just to keep the battlefield as clear as possible at this point. So a blackout pins our Hurricane. What we can do actually here is a little bit of a trick, which is interesting. I'll show you that in just a second. Oh, they take it out with our Panzer. What we could have done there is AA barraged our own Hurricane back to our hand and then played it again. And this Panzer is going to be troublesome. 5th Brigade helps. So let's shoot that Panzer. And let's see, we're gonna pass the turn here. We will probably lose our Churchill here, but that's okay because we can hit him with a 24 or 25 pounder again. All right, so not a lot of help there, but it does help that we can get some more attack in at the Panzer. Opponent probably should have moved that forward, but then we get an attack in at the Panzer 2A and take out the Panzer 2A. We'll pass the turn. So, I mean, you can see the AI in action here. You can kind of see that the Germans have some really nice tanks to get things started, as opposed to the British, who are a little more defensive. The Germans can be very aggressive. So we're actually going to move our Churchill forward here and get some attacking in. We might as well use our fortification while we have the opportunity. So we'll see what else our opponent's up to here. Okay, so that's what we want to see really, is a 109, because now we can get a really big tempo advantage by playing the AA barrage, putting that back in their hand. Get an attack in. Move our Humber forward, get another attack in. Get another attack, because our Humber has Fury, the Fury mechanic, which means you can attack twice in a turn. Then our 24-pound, or 25-pounder, I keep saying 24. Then we'll have a cup of tea. We'll pass turn back. Now we're feeling pretty good. So the 109 comes back, but we can get our AA barrage on it again, and another 25-pounder. So we're feeling much better now, in a much more powerful position. A couple of attacks. And there we go. And next turn we're set up to win this one. Then we'll take a little bit of a tour of the user interface a little bit. Alright, so let's just win this one here with a couple of 25-pounder attacks. You can see the ranged attack that they have. And there you go. So another win for Team Britain. And we unlocked the German starter, so that's really good. Oh, we can't look around the user interface. My fault there. So let's get the rest of these unlocked. Shoot. Alright, well, let's try and take out the USA with our German starter. We'll start there. No pun intended. Alright, so here we go. What do we draw? Alright, pretty good starting hand for Team Germany. Germans like to combine infantry and tanks often, and planes too, so kind of combined arms is something the Germans do a lot. Excuse me. Alright, so let's get an infantry regiment out there. So, we'll ramping up there for our opponent. They'll probably move this 5... Oh, they can't. They're out of credits. So this 506 has to sit tight for now. It gives us the opportunity to use our Panzer 2 or Panzer 35 and get an early attack in because of its ability to have 0 operation cost. Then let's move our infantry regiment up here. And controlling the front line's big for Germany. Helps control the amount of units your opponent can have, and kind of choke them off from kind of having an overwhelming force against you. So right now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to get this Panzer 2A out here and establish a little bit more of front line control and get some attacks in. Now, we are outclassed unit for unit here, but our opponent also can't get through to the front line because we have them outnumbered right now. So, how are we going to do this one here? All right, I think here's what we're going to do. We're going to do some dive bombing on the 506th. And then we're going to put out our 1 infantry regiment just to make sure the 0 operation cost still works. Get an attack in. And we're going to pass the turn. We could play our blackout even though they don't have a fighter or a bomber out there, but we're going to hold on to it until we absolutely need it. So an attack and then a Greyhound for our opponent. Let's play our Panzer 38T and draw a card. Alright, we can get an attack in here, and we do take a damage from the Panzer, or from the Greyhound, but it doesn't hurt us too bad. We want to get this 109 down there. It's pretty strong plane, early on at least. Alright, overwhelming force doesn't really do anything for our opponent. Alright, so another Panzer 38T. Well, we do want to get an attack in here just to thin the ranks a little bit for what our opponent's up to. Let's play that new Panzer 38T. Alright, and we'll play our infantry regiment. So we got a nice little combined arms going here. And our opponent decides to trade off. That's fine, we'll take that. And I'll take the front line back though, so that's a little bit of a pain. We have a T-19 out there now. Alright, Reichsbank is interesting, kind of a pseudo ramp card for us. I think we'll play it. And next turn we get the boost from it. So I think we're going to get our... No, I think we're going to hold our 109. Play our Panzer Grenadier. We'll get an attack in. Even though we lose our units here, I think it's important to just... Our opponent's down to 1 card in hand, so we want to try and thin them out as much as possible. So probably have to try and fight through this 30th Regiment as well, but we can do it. We can go one-on-one this time. And the T-19 attacks our 33. Okay, so a Volksgrenadier is very helpful. We have let me put this back for a second. We have 11 credits to work with now, so plenty of options for us. Let's trade off. And let's get our Volksgrenadier out there. And let's drop a 109 out there. And you know what? We don't get the bonus from this Panzer Grenadier, but they're pretty strong, so we're going to get them out there. We're going to hold on to this 4 Pioneer and hopefully be able to take the front line with something next turn. So our Volksgrenadier takes a hit. They move up. They probably should have moved their Greyhound up first, but too late now. We get another 109, so that's good. We're going to take out, let's see, first we should take out this M8 Greyhound, so they lose the buff. Then we'll use our 980 on the 463rd. And we're going to do a strafing run on that T90 over there. And we're going to play out our other plane. We're going to pass the turn back. So they're down to 1 card in hand, so feeling pretty good. Alright, so they have a P51 now. P51's pretty good, pretty strong card. So let's move our infantry into the front line and give them a defensive bump from our Pioneer. We'll use our sudden strike on their infantry. And then we've been holding on to this blackout for a while, and it comes in very handy right now. So let's use it to pin the 109, or the P51. And we can still play another battalion, get another defensive boost to our frontline units, and then we can strafe their HQ. So we do all that, pass the turn back. Alright, so they get a Sherman, doesn't do them a whole lot. And we just want to really establish frontline control at this point. So we're going to put everybody in the front line and we're going to pump them all up defensively again. Get some big attacks in. And, oh, I actually did my math wrong. We have enough credits to win the game here, so let's do it. Get that last attack in. There we go. So USA starter deck unlocked. Great. Last one up, Soviet Union. So I think I like the German deck, so let's go with the German deck again. Up against Sokolov, which is a AI opponent still, but you know, these are all pretty good. We're going to take them into battle. Alright, so a 321st Rifle Regiment, which when it gets blown up, it puts a light infantry on the battlefield for our opponent. But we're going to start out with a Panzer IIA. Alright, so then an 89th Infantry Regiment for our opponent, but that's okay. And we can work through the Rifle Regiment here. So let's play, we're actually going to play this Panzer 35T for the moment. Because next turn we can drop an infantry unit down, and then this goes down to 0 operation cost, which is pretty good for a 2-power unit. So, all right, and now it's going to be a 3-power unit because then we're going to have a little combined arms action here. So let's get our Panzers out there, and we can take out the 89th, and still have a an operational 35T out there. Alright, so a BT-7 for our opponent, and then a T-70. Alright, so lots of options for us here. I think what we're going to do first is get rid of the 321st in the front line. So they pick up their infantry, but then I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drop this Panzer Grenadier out there and use this opportunity to take out the T-70. Similar to our last game and trying to work our opponent's hand down. And these infantry units are pretty strong. So we're probably not going to be able to get the front line here because depending on what the AI does, you'd think they would take the front line, and they do. Alright, but we get it back, so we'll be happy to take out this infantry. Alright, so a Reichsbank. So we're actually going to hold on to that Reichsbank because we have some things we would like to do here. So we're going to take out that light infantry. We're going to move forward with all of our units. And we're going to give ourselves a defensive boost with the Pioneers. This plane over here, this I-16, is pretty good. So, oh, and we should have put out our other Panzer, but too late now. Hit the button too soon. Bloody Sickle, okay. We'll see if we get a trade-off here. Oh, just one attack so far. Okay, so they take out our one Panzer, but that's okay. Alright, so Blackout is pretty good for us here. Let's pin the I-16. Oh, and another Blackout. We're actually going to save that one, I think, until next turn. So let's get another Panzer into the front line. And let's get, let's put a Volksgrenadier out there. Sure, let's do a Volksgrenadier. So, see what else our opponent's up to. Ooh, they got a pretty beefy one there with the 95th Rifle Regiment. We're working our way through here, and they get another guard on their HQ. We were going to attack their HQ, but too late now. So, let's do another Blackout, pin this I-16 again. Alright, so there's the big tank. That'll help quite a bit. So let's move our Volksgrenadier forward, and let's get our big tank onto the battlefield. And right now, I mean, this 95th Rifle Regiment can take out one of our units, but again, they can't take out everything, and they're choked off in their support line right now. So, okay, so they repair their 95th rifles, but that's okay. Okay, couple of Reichsbanks. Well, we want to maintain front line control. So, let's see. Okay, well, what we can do here is we can use a dive bombing on the 95th. Then we can take them out and keep our Panzer. And let's play a Reichsbank, so next turn we have some more credits to work with. So, kind of think our Panzer isn't going to make it to next turn, but what are you going to do? So they do get our Panzer. They play a BT-7, but we get to play now, and that's always good. Alright, so we got 12 credits to work with. Let's play, let's play our Volksgrenadier. Let's play our BF-109. Let's take out the BT-7. And let's play our Reichsbank, hoping we draw something good off the top next turn. Get some attacks in at the opponent's HQ. And pass the turn. So this one's a little bit tighter than some of our others. Alright, a burning sky is trouble right there. Alright, so 59 Panzer Grenadier. Let's move our Volksgrenadier to the front line. Let's trade off and get rid of this I-16. It's kind of being a pain. And then let's get an attack at the opponent's HQ. So they have 25 cards on their deck, and we have 22. So let's see what happens here. They got 2 cards in hand. They decide to pass a turn. So let's get some movement and some attacks. They must have some orders that they can't play just yet. We're going to hold on to our Black Watch just in case we needed it. Alright, so a pretty strong T-70 out there after they play Red October on it. We do get our Panzer though, so that helps. Play that out. Let's draw with our Black Watch. Okay, so we get another draw with our T-30 or Panzer 38T. Alright, so the train stops there, but we have quite the army out there now. And what I think we're going to do actually is trade off 2 here and get this big guard tank up and out of the way. Kind of clear the road for our Panzer 4G coming up from the back line. Alright, so 84 Infantry Regiment for our opponent. It's a good one. We're going to attack it though with some pretty strong tanks. Take it out, move our infantry up, and we will attack with our pioneers. Alright, then we have 59, so we'll get them out there. Attack with the 4G, and end this one with a 38T. So, there we go. So cleared our way through all of the starter decks, which is exciting and good for us. So we get a free pack for our wins, and check our email for 3 packs. So we'll go do that right now. All right, so I'm back after checking our email here, and what we have to do, you saw our thing where we get 3 free packs. So you go to shop, and you hit redeem right down here, and you put your code in. So mine in this case was P9hack. Confirm. and we get 3 free packs. So that's great. And the one thing I will take advantage of here is the welcome offer. So let me just hit that quick and put in a couple of numbers that I can't show everybody. Okay, so we got through all of the free packs that we get. We get 1 free pack for beating the tutorial, and then you get 3 free packs by doing all the email stuff. So we did that, and then we bought the welcome bundle. So this is the home page of KARDS, or the home screen, I guess is probably a better way to phrase that. But the home screen of KARDS. So we'll take a look at each thing on here. Gold up here, this is just an indicator, and you can earn gold in game. It's one of the economies of the game by winning games, and then also there's achievements that help you unlock gold. So we'll take a look at gold in just a second. Settings up here, I mean, you cruise through these at your own leisure. A link to the Discord channel, highly recommend that you join that. Friends list, we don't have anybody yet. My more competitive account has all kinds of people in there. Draft is not out yet, hopefully will be soon. Training is very similar to the AI that we just played. You can click through and check that out if you want. Battle is once you have some decks made, you can play against other players around the world, and the matchmaker will do its best to find a player of similar rank and kind of experience level that you have. Then down here you got your profile, cards, shop, and open packs. What do open packs last? You saw shop. So here you can buy either packs of cards for the game itself with real world money or in-game gold, or you can get cosmetic updates. You don't need these to actually play the game. Um, if you really want the card backs and some of the other bells and whistles, by all means, it's a pretty good deal. $30, you unlock everything. Or if you have a particular nation that you're really into, it's $8 each, so not bad there. The welcome bundle that you have and that I got already is a really good value. The others, make your own determinations. On my more competitive account, I've gotten the 15-pack bundle a couple of times. The more you buy, the more you save per pack. That's up to you. If you click on the cards tab, it takes you to your deck builder, and all the different starter decks are here for now. If you want to make a new deck, you just click here. You pick, your main power and your supporting ally, and it'll give you some, the first time you click through, it'll give you some information, but, you just click a card, drag and drop if you want it in your deck. If you want multiples of the same card, you can click and drag and drop wherever. Each deck will have an HQ and some more information up here. These are the total cards in your deck. You can name your deck, best deck ever, and then just click anywhere and it'll save the name of your deck. It'll show you the curve of your deck per card. We'll go over that more and more as we get going. If you want to change your card backs, you can change it to the default or leave it on the germ. Whatever your main power ally, that'll be your default card back. And then some other players will have different card backs depending on their levels and their ranks and prizes they've won, that kind of thing. If you ever want to copy your deck list to put it online or share with somebody, it's this button right here. If you ever want to change the name of your deck without clicking on the name that's there, you want to delete your deck, you just hit the little trash can. Then along the bottom here, you have a search function where if you put in something like draw, like say I wanted to put some card draw into this deck, it'll go and it'll find every card in your collection in your major power and your ally that has the word draw on it. So if you want something that does damage to something, you can put damage in there and it'll give you everything that says damage, and so on and so forth. Perhaps you want to do an all infantry deck. Well, you just click on infantry and it'll cycle you through only the infantry in those powers. Same for artillery, which these two don't have any artillery. Same for tanks. Same for bombers, which I don't have any yet. Same for fighters. Same, and the exclamation point are orders, and then the question mark are countermeasures, which we'll get to a little bit later on. If you want to look at just one nation of these things, you can click on just, in this case, Germany. So if I just want to say just German infantry, then you click both of those and there you go. If I want to see just Japanese orders, there you go. And then a nice feature that they have is the 1939 games doesn't hide any of the cards in the game from you. You just have to hit the show all button and it'll show you any card in the game. And they're all available if you have enough resources. And this is where I want to talk about the resources button up here. I kind of skipped over it before. Resources are earned through either achievements or opening packs and getting cards. Once you get your full play set, you already have your full play set, you get some resources for those cards instead. And then you can turn these resources into any card in the game. So something like Burning Sun here, if I had 8 resources, I could hit this create card button and then I would get a copy of Burning Sun. Standard cards cost 8. Let's find a limited card here. Limited cards cost 20. And if we go back, special cards cost 80. And elite cards, which here's one right here. Elite cards cost 320. So they're pretty expensive for elites. But elites also come in the packs, and all these different rarities come in packs too. And you'll see that just in a little bit. So that's the show all button, and that's kind of the deck builder. This might change in the future, but that's the current setup that's in the game right now. So let's get rid of that deck. We're not going to use that just now. All right, and that's kind of a tour through the opening stages of cards. Let's open some packs and show you kind of how that all works. So here's what the open pack screen looks like here. You can either click on the open button or the pack itself. You click on the pack, it drops your cards onto the table, and then every pack is going to have at least one limited card in it, and this limited spot might be a special, might be an elite, but you're always going to get at least one limited card. So let's see what we got. We got a Yak 3, pretty good fighter. All right, standard card for the Germans. Okay, pack 36. All right. A cup of tea, we saw that in action before. A Humber Mark II, which we actually already have a play set of, which if you saw it in the upper left-hand corner, turned into a resource for us. So we already have 3 Humbers, so now we have 1 resource that we can hopefully turn into cards later on. And our last one is a Naval Support, which is a pretty good combo-y card. So maybe we'll do something with that in the What I'm Playing series later on. So a lot of German cards in this pack. A bunch of standards and a limited. See if we can score a elite. Oh, a Focke-Wulf 190. That's pretty good. And I have a little bit of a graphics issue there with that one. Junkers JU88 isn't a bad one. Let's open up our next pack. Alright, a lot of Soviet ones in this one, so all standards and limiteds. Let's get these flipped over here. Oh, Deadly Duty, those are pretty good for a lot of decks. Alright, and a Katyusha, which is a pretty versatile, pretty good card, so let's open up our next one. Alright, so a couple of standards here across the top. Alright, oh, a 37 anti-aircraft, that's a pretty good one. And an A24 Banshee, that's a pretty good card. Alright, our next pack. And you can see we're up to 6 resources, so some of these we've already had. Ooh, a Special American. Alright, that's interesting. See what we get there. Do that one last, just to let the anticipation build. So you can see here we have a special card and a limited card in this pack, so that's pretty good. B25 Mitchell, that's a pretty good card. And then our special, Ooh, the 10th Engineers Battalion. Adjacent ground units have +2 attack. So that's one we'll probably build one of our early decks around. That's a pretty good card. Alright, back to the kind of the standard show here. Another Yak 3. Alright, so a double limited pack there with a Kate and a Yak 3. That's pretty good. Alright, bunch of Japanese cards here. Air superiority, okay. Alright, 980. So we're up to 8 resources now, so we can make a card, and yep, we just snuck past an elite, so a German elite, so we'll see what we got there. That's exciting. Alright, see what our elite is. Here we go. The 158th Nakshub, which has smokescreen. When the enemy discards a card, draw a card. I'm not a huge fan of discard, as you've heard on the podcast, I'm sure. But elite cards are elite cards, so we'll see if maybe we can do something with that in the future. So, let's see some standards again here. Picking up all these 35mm anti-aircraft guns, which is interesting for maybe a deck that we could build. Alright, coastal howitzer. Alright, ooh, a Japanese special. Alright, so that's good. Burning Sun. And we get, ooh, the M6A1 Chiron, or Siran. Depends on how you want to pronounce it. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but that's a nice build around card. Maybe we can get that, use that for something in the future. Alright, couple more standards here. Ooh, a special Soviet, so that'll be helpful. See what else we got. Alright, then our special Soviet is a Yak 9. Okay, so destruction. Draw a Soviet card from your deck. That's pretty good. We're up to 12 resources here, so that's not bad. Alright, ooh, a Tora. That's helpful. Alright, another JU-88. So we got only a couple more packs left, so we'll see what else we get. Okay. Ooh, Fury unit. Alright, Patriotic Firestorm. We can definitely use that. Alright, and our last pack here, so Swordfish is a pretty good one. Looks a little innocuous, but if you use properly, Swordfish is really good. So that's our packs. We got 14 total resources, but we filled out our collection quite a bit. So we can go down here into the collection button and see what we got in our collection so far. And we have quite the array of things. So we'll have to do some deck building at some point and then get some games in. But right now I got some things percolating in my head. This Iran is pretty interesting, and you know, we have some other pretty interesting cards that we can build around for our first couple of decks. So feeling pretty good, but thank you for joining me, going through the tutorials here, getting a little bit of a tour of the user interface, and this will be our first step along a long journey, and hopefully we can make it happen and make things work for everybody here, and kind of guide everybody through the process of going from brand new to hopefully someday all the way into the Officers Club, and maybe even go 5 for 5 in the Officers Club. We'll see. All right, so if you like our content, would like to support our content, please consider supporting us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/kardspodcast, or just listening to the podcast, or following along on the weekly stream, which is twitch.tv/Ben Myers. And hopefully we will see you there. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you soon.